Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, welcome. It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday and it is our behind the scenes chat. So come on in, everybody. Make sure you like, love, and share because tonight we have a phenomenal guest in the house with us. And believe me, her story, somebody out there needs it. Now,
Yeah.
uh, we may not have access to them, but you do. So share the information, baby. Sharing is caring. So without further ado, we have with us tonight author and life coach, Christina
And
Blake.
keeping it real, lady of the half an hour.
I like that. The keeping it real lady of the half an hour. Come on, Sherri. Hey, Christina, how are you, baby?
I am awesome, and like I always say, it's such an honor to be amongst two amazing women who
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Listen, so we had you on the show a couple of weeks ago, and it was great chatting with you. Sherri and I love having you because you are, what did Sherri say? You keeping it real, like you
Yes.
with the raw information. But it was such an amazing episode, and of course, we had to have you back on the behind the scenes chat so we could go a little deeper, right? Right. So most of you guys don't know if you tuned in a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how Christina was with us in some of our earlier episodes. Those of you who are true diehard B3 family members, you might have seen her in one of our earlier episodes. And so now we brought her back and we want to refresh you on who she is. So Christina, share with us a little bit of your story and your background to help bring in what they heard 2 weeks ago.
okay. So, but I tell my story. I,
Uh-oh. You breaking up a little bit. Something breaking you up. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try it one more time.
can you hear me?
Yes, but you choppy. You got something going on in your background?
No,
Okay. All right,
no.
go ahead and try again.
Okay. So, for me, what I like to do. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine now.
Okay. So for me, what I like to do, and I learned this from my coach, Lisa Nichols. And she always say you do the dip theory, right? And the dip theory is a V. So, I always like to tell people where I am, because they need to know where I am. Today I am a motivational speaker. I am an author. I am a grandmother. I'm an entrepreneur. I have almost 16 years of sobriety. I'm a recovery coach. I work inside of a hospital helping people to overcome substance abuse issues. Now, what led to that is the dip that people don't really know.
Yeah.
I wasn't always this amazing person who have accomplished some things. I have a degree in psychology. I have a few more letters behind my name, but that wasn't who I always was. So when you get to that middle, that V point, that point that goes down inside of the V, it's like I call it your valley moment.
Yeah.
And my valley moment was, and I'm going to fast forward it. I'm going to take you through it. So follow through. Like in my book, take this journey with me. And I'm the youngest of three, born to an alcoholic father. My mother was a childhood parent, well, a teenage parent. She had my brother when she was 15, my sister when she was 14. I didn't come along until she was 21. She married my father. Back in those days, it was okay to get married. My mother had a sixth grade education. So, we was brought up in lack, and to be more frank, poverty, So my mother, after divorcing my dad, because we went through a lot of physical and trauma, it was so much dysfunction in the household that I grew up thinking that beating me, calling me out of my name was normal. I thought that that
Mm.
was what love meant. So as I continued to evolve in life, I gravitated to that. And in the midst of that, at the age of 13, my mother was murdered,
Mm.
which led me to the streets. My sister being being very isolated, she really didn't understand the streets. So my sister wound up dating and she turned to crack. She was introduced to crack cocaine. My brother was always incarcerated. So, you know, the streets wind up being my parent, if that makes sense to you all. The streets groomed me. The streets taught me how to survive the streets.
Yeah.
Um, and along with that came addiction. I started using drugs at the age of 13. I started smoking PCP. I was introduced to crack cocaine. And, at that time, it was fun because it numbed me from feeling the absence of the only parent that really took interest in me, which was my mother. Because at the point, my dad, he was still alive. But like I stated, he was very physically and verbally abusive. So I didn't want to live with him. So I chose to live anywhere but. So I wound up going into the same apartment complex where my mother was murdered. And mind you, she was murdered in our apartment.
Mm.
I will never forget October the 1st, 1986. That's the day that everything in my life turned for the worse. Fast forwarding, I got into relationships, abusive ones that was just as bad as my dad. But like I said, that's what I knew as my norm. I wound up having children, gave birth to 6 of them in total. Only to lose 5 of them to Child and Family Services due to my drug addiction. You know, um, which led to a lot of incarcerations, which led to me dropping out of school and trying to figure life out with no guidance. Later on, you know, I found God. Let me say that. That's how life began to change for me. I was introduced to God in prison, by a young lady who had so much joy during time. And I couldn't understand that. How can you be so happy in prison?
Right.
But I was like, if she is in here and can get through this, then I want what she got. But at that time, I didn't really care for God, who people talk so highly about. But how can you be so loving, kind, and generous and all of these good things, and you allow someone so young to endure so much tragedy and trauma?
Yeah.
But I wound up getting my GED. I wound up, gravitating towards learning how to pray, and life got a little bit better. Speed it up. I sit before you today, like I stated, with almost 16 years of sobriety, uninterrupted. Um, an adoption of my oldest 2 children were overturned. I consented to the last three the last three being adopted because I was just getting clean in 2005. So I needed some help, and at that time I had learned that guess what? Closed mouths never get fed. So if I don't ask for the help, I'll never receive it. And I'll find myself back in the same situation, trying to figure out how to parent, and I don't even know how.
Mm-hmm.
So I accepted the help from these two loving people who had a 2-parent home and who was willing to take in my 3 children and keep them together. And we became a blended family. Later, in 2000 and let's see, 17, I became a foster mother to Child and Family Services, something that someone told me I'll never be able to do. So for whomever is listening tonight, don't allow anyone to tell you what you cannot do. Because as long as you are above ground and God has breathed breath into your lungs and has massaged your heart, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And that's what I told this individual. Don't tell me what I can't do, because I'm going to prove to you that I can.
Yeah.
I became a foster mother to that same foster system that I gave my children to. Because they didn't take them, I gave them over. I relinquished my rights over because I chose a drug over my children. But at the time, I was dealing with trauma and didn't even know it, that it will impact my life to the level that it did. But one thing that I can say is that I'm grateful for the experience,
Yeah.
because it has made me and have molded me into the woman that I am today, who is still evolving as I continue to thrive and become the best version of myself.
Uh-oh.
See,
See, that ain't right. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need you to repeat that last part. Because see, what
Yeah.
happened was it tried to blink you out
yes.
so that word couldn't go forth. So I'm going to need you to start on back at
Just the last bit.
best version of me. What was that last sentence
So
you
I'm
said?
going to evolve into the best version of myself as I continue to show people, be a instrument for the goodness of God. And like my book say, don't look like what I've been through. Because if people was to look at me, they will never know the story behind the cover.
Yeah.
Because what you see isn't the content, it's just the cover
Right.
of what God preserved. And see, some people never read the content because they get so mesmerized by the cover. But that's what behind every cover is a story.
Yeah.
Here to inspire, encourage, and motivate a person who may be enduring any part of my story, and to let them know that you too can overcome, because I did it.
Yeah. I
Yes,
told her she
indeed.
had a great story.
Yeah, and and a story that is so true and to so many. To so many. I truly believe, how do you feel about this? That I truly believe that there's a positive in every negative.
Absolutely, Sherri. It's all in how you view your negatives.
Yeah.
I look at them as trials that turn into triumph. And my motto is, when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at begin to change. And that's just it. That's it. We ain't always dealt the best of hands,
Right.
but you got to learn how to strategize. And that's just it. Learn how to strategize. Use your challenges to be your motivators.
That's
And that's
right.
what I do today.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, and like I think no, it's not even I think. What I love most is to hear you tell your story and still see you saying you flipped your negative into a positive, and now that is your driving force to make a difference in the lives of those that you encounter going forward,
Yes.
right? Like you're a coach, you're a life coach, you're helping people come from where you came from. You reached back and said that didn't have to define me. Now I'm going to reach back, and I'm going to bring some people forward. I'm going to help them come forward, to help them shortcut and circumvent some of the things that I had to learn the hard way. Let me help you avoid that. Even going back and getting your babies, like I love that. And I don't think I think I missed that in your story the first time that you relinquished them. They
Yeah.
were taking away from you. You gave them away. You know what I mean? Because you chose a drug. That's powerful to even acknowledge. You know what I mean? To come back and acknowledge that that's what you did. That's powerful because sometimes we're not willing to take accountability.
Absolutely.
It's always easy to blame something else, you know, or someone else, but to be accountable, sometimes people don't want to do that.
And how does that saying go? If you love something, set it free, and if it were meant to be, it will come back.
It was meant to be.
And totally, and I always feel like, you know, and I know it's the hardest thing to explain to children that have been in the system, but when you think about it, for a mom or a dad to totally say, you know what, I'm not what's best for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather have the best opportune for you than to keep you where I am and pray for the best. You know, when you love something, you say, you know what, I can't do it for you. Right. But I pray that somebody or some can or will, you know, and at the same time you stayed in touch. You continue to fight for, you continue to press forward, even in the ups and downs of the valley. Yeah. Right. Even in the ups and downs of the valley. So, you know, and I see it as a healthy act of a selfless act, you know, because, you know, and I would think that, you know, I would think that children would respond like, wow, okay, I totally understand, you know, but many don't. But I would think that they would understand, you know.
Yes, my children do now.
Yeah.
Understand. You know, we have the best relationship. You know, children tend to be very good kids. You know, and my oldest daughter, she's 29.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other one is 27. I have my 19-year-old who's getting ready to move to Texas. She has her own car. She's been through the fire cadet. She's becoming an EMT, and she's great at moving to her own place. She lives. She's moving into her own place. I have two more that's left in school. 2013, another challenge came and hit my life. My 18-year-old left here and got her wings. She passed away from sickle cell, but I still never found it necessary to pick up again because using ain't an option for me today. Because it's not going to bring her back. And even if it would have, I would not have picked up, because bringing her back meant bringing her back to pain because she had sickle cell, always. Then it was going to take me back into more pain. Where it's so hard to come from. Yeah. So we got to pick and choose battle. And have to make sure that we're choosing what battles belong to us.
My Lord.
Battles belong to the Lord. That's who I put my trust in today, because he's shown me his favor. He's shown me his grace. See, I'm a firm believer today of his grace and his mercy. That's what I do. I go around and guess what? I take no credit for where I am, because had it not been for the grace,
come on now,
where would I be? Still in that low point, in that trying to figure this thing out. But when I relinquish my will over to the creator of the universe, things begin to change. Things begin to change. So, you know, I don't know about other people. I don't push religion. I am spiritual. I'm a spiritual being.
That's right.
Human experience. There's life after here. We're just foreigners passing through. That's it.
Girl, you need to go ahead.
Passing through. And how I look at life. And when I leave here, I want to leave a legacy for generations to come but I also want to leave empty, knowing that I fulfilled every purpose that God has given.
Yes.
So,
That's it right there. That's
They,
it right there.
that's a word right there.
yeah.
And you know what? And to be honest, you know how when you're growing up and you stray away from church and everything, you always like everybody always referring to God, and everybody's always saying, "Well, God said pulled me through, and God pulled me through," and you know, and you're young, right? And you're like, everybody always say, "Well, I'm not gonna be all churchy like that." Let me tell you something about church. Let me tell you something about spiritual. Let me tell you something about having that connection. Like, yes, you have to have that connection and everything. I owe everything to him. Like everything. Yeah. You better have that connection. Oh, why she keep going out?
There she go.
Going black. Yeah, you gotta have that connection. She just gave y'all a word today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always say you got to be connected to the right power source.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like if you want your life to be energized and you want to have what you need to fulfill your purpose and your destiny, you have to be connected to the right power source. You know, if you're not connected with the right power source, then what's going to happen is it's going to drain your battery.
Yeah.
You ever seen something that drain the battery? You like, oh, well, this is going to help. And then it drain your battery and you stuck, right?
Right.
And one of the analogies I use is if you get connected to the wrong power source, you're going to be driving and you're going to be stuck on the side of the road somewhere. And you ain't going to be able to get the jump you need because you've been drained.
Yeah.
You got to get connected to the right power source.
Absolutely.
Stuck on the side of 495 because you decided to take a detour.
Hello.
Right? And you ain't got no business over there in the first place.
Or you went and bought the bootleg battery instead of the real battery.
Come on now.
Because because it was cheaper and it looked better.
You better get back on track. You better get back on track.
That's some shortcuts.
Yeah, that's the shortcuts. We don't want them shortcuts.
No.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I've learned that shortcuts make your life, make it go longer. It make your process a lot longer than it needs to be. The shortcut really ain't a shortcut. It just lands you right back where you started from. And then you got to start the process all over again. And that's
exactly.
I'm like, I don't need that type of detour. I'm done.
Yeah.
I had it the first time. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
No more shortcuts.
No more shortcuts.
I'm gonna go ahead
I'm gonna go and take that long walk and go and walk it out.
Absolutely. And I don't want anyone to be, looking at me like, oh, she got this, she's that. Trust and believe. Every one of us have a cross to bear. Yeah. Every one of us have a cross to bear. Whether all of our crosses may not look the same.
Nope.
But I guarantee you that there's some similarities. Mm-hmm. Similarities in all of our cross-bearing moments.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Every last one of us. Because we've all been young. We are all getting older. Most of us have children.
Yep.
Reflect and resemble the stuff that we tried to get away with when we were coming up. And now we're the parent looking back and saying, now I know what my mother meant. Now I know what my father meant. Oh, now I can see, because now you're seeing the younger version of yourself. And how are you going to handle making sure that their burdens are a little bit lighter than the burdens that you had because of the disobedience? So, in my house, we will serve the Lord.
Okay.
That's just my motto. You get up. When I get up, when we were in church, you get up, you go. I don't care. You can fall asleep, but you're getting up and you're going. We're gonna serve him, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this roof.
That's right.
It wouldn't be so, because I ain't did nothing spectacular. I just started following good, orderly directions. GOD. Point blank, period.
There it is. That's right. As for me and my house, that's what we're gonna do up in here.
That's
Yes,
it.
good orderly directions. I might get that put on my wall.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, don't you already have a shirt, Christina, that say that?
That's my clothing line. That's
Yeah, I was about to say, I know she
Okay.
already got it. We just gotta go get the shirt from her. That's all.
Okay. Well, I need to come get my shirt tomorrow.
I can't wait, and I'm going to make sure that y'all get two. I'm gonna give them to you. I can't wait to roll out my fall line because y'all first two to represent them on your show, and they are amazing. I have so many different things that's going on them, just everything. I'm loving it. I can't wait for
I know that's right.
but is uniquely designed by good orderly directions. That's all I follow. Good orderly directions.
My Lord, when you follow your purpose, my God, how it will bless you just in your life. Yeah. It'll bless your walk. It'll bless your talk. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just different.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I think that I'm gonna leave it right there what Sherri said. It's different. When you find your path and you walk in it, you might have your ups, you might have your downs, or you might have your V moments. I like that. Your V moments.
Yeah.
You have your V moments. But when you on the right path and you stick it out, it's just different. It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
and trust and
struggle when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Then if
and trust and believe, you still have valleys, right?
Yeah, you do.
You still have them. But guess what? When we hit the valleys, though, when you walking in purpose, it's different. It's totally different. Yeah, you come out of that valley with a smile, like, yep, yeah.
Just say this. Y'all know about that valley moment with B3rdPower.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
But you came out different.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And
it has been a journey, but the difference is that we keep fighting because we know this is what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
This is what we're supposed to do. This is what we're supposed to do. We know we're in the right lane. And so we have our moments. Sure, look, we can't have a moment on the same day.
Right.
But has to talk us off the ledge.
Yeah. Right.
But we have our moments, and then the other one, whichever one is having a moment, we'll be like, all right, let's shake it off. Let's keep moving.
Right. All right.
Are you good? Go and shake that off. We got to keep moving. All right. Well, since we both in this mood, we'll call each other in 2 days.
And T is really good at that. She'll be like, okay, we're gonna come back and we're gonna revisit this in a couple of days. Because don't make any rash decisions. Don't just go off of emotion. And sometimes, you can get there. And that's in anything that you do, right? Anything that you do, because a lot of times to anything worth having is worth working for. And a lot of times we want the quick, we want the easy, we want I don't understand why I just needed to go like this. Right? And then when it doesn't happen like that, it's like, you know what? I think maybe this ain't for me. Right. Just real quick to be like, I don't think this is for me anymore, but I'm glad that we totally kind of balance each other out on that to make sure that we're not making any crazy quick.
Or to say God knew what he was doing when he put this team together.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. But
because I'd be on the sofa eating bonbons right now.
which would not work at all.
Not at all.
No. But OMG, Christina, it's always a pleasure to have you. I'm so glad that you got a chance to come back and do behind the scenes chat with us. It's so refreshing to see your face. It's so exciting to hear all the great things that you have going on. We didn't list them all tonight, but go back and catch the episode from 2 weeks ago. Go to You Broadcast Media, y'all, or go to in a couple days you can go to YouTube to the B3rdPower page. But go over on Facebook, go over to You Broadcast Media and go catch August 10th episode. She was there. She gave a lot of good information, and she shared a lot of the stuff that she's up to. Let me tell you, she has some amazing things going on, not just the fall clothing line. She has a book, as we mentioned earlier. It's called Don't Look Like What I've Been Through.
Yeah.
Follow at her, get with her, follow her, okay?
Right.
Get the book. If it's you that need it, get the book. If it's somebody you know that need it,
Get the book. Get the book.
That's the bottom line, y'all.
You know what?
The book.
You know what they always used to say back in the day, that if you put something in a book worth reading, right? Some folks, I ain't gonna say it, won't pick it up, right? That's what they used to say. Y'all read in between the lines. I don't want to put it out there on B3rdPower.
We changing that language.
Right.
We'll go pick up the book.
But the point is to go pick up the book, because the books hold a lot of knowledge, information, and that will take you beyond where you are. Absolutely. Right? And even in your personal growth, even in your spiritual growth, your educational life, it will take you places that you cannot imagine on your own. So pick up the book. Pick up the book. I don't care if you read 2 pages. I don't care if you read the entire book. It's, you know what I'm saying? You're guaranteed to get something out of the book if you just pick up the book.
If you just pick it up. Christina, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, my major platform is Facebook, and it's Christina Blake. My book trailer is out. They can watch a clip of my book trailer about my book. Is on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Google Play, iTunes. You know, I am on Instagram as I am Christina Blake. I don't really use Twitter. That's for you know.
You say that's for the young folk.
I'm trying to catch on to it, but it's just
my website is being designed as we speak, because I'm adding some other things to it. But please follow me on Facebook. I always put information out there, and trust me, you go to my page, you're going to be motivated, inspired, and encouraged.
On purpose. My Lord.
On purpose. On purpose.
That's right.
Well, you know what time it is. It's always time to go when we having fun. But needless to say, before we go, remember, guys, this Sunday, August the 23rd, B3rdPower has a special airing live episode, which is our Youth Summit Town Hall. Yes. Make sure you sign your babies up. It's free to watch. It's free to partake in the panel. But guess what? You can watch on here and comment in the comments, but if you want your voice heard, you want your baby's voice heard, you got to go register. So check us out. You can go to the B3rdPower page. We have an event there. Oh, wait. And you can also go to B3rdPower.com. That's B3RD.com. I'm sorry, power.com. And you can click on Youth Summit there, and you will be able to register your youth to participate in the panel discussion. All right. We are looking for youth advocates. We're looking for youth entrepreneurs. And don't get me wrong, we're talking to our babies, but we'll take a couple adults too that work in the field specifically with our children. You are welcome to join the panel as well. But again, go to B3rdPower.com. Get registered today. Registration will be closing, I think, on Friday. On Friday, I believe it closes. So register before then if you want to participate in the panel. It's going to be a phenomenal episode. And guess what? It is being brought to us by Keon Works.
Yes, indeed. We are keeping each other motivated because it works. Yes. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to talking to the youth. In the last couple of months, they've been so motivated. They've been doing so good and doing so many things in the community. Their teen organizations throughout the DMV area, I know personally because we're here, that are doing some amazing things. And they're uniting together to do big moves. So please register your children so that we can hear what's going on. You know, we're all about being intentional, bridging gaps, and building communities. And whatever B3rdPower can do to continue that, that's what we want to be a part of. So make sure that you get those children that are doing something involved. And even if they're not involved, but you just want your children around some like-minded, powerful, motivated youth, get them registered, get them involved, log in so we can have that conversation.
Absolutely. So with that being said, remember, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those around you. I'm T Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherri Cook.
And this has been B3rdPower's Behind the Scene Chat. You all have a fantastic week, and we'll see you on Sunday.